everyone, and welcome to the new live stream at Checkmk and from the Checkmk studio. Today we have Jonas and Christian here, and I'm Sara, the Community Manager for Checkmk. And today we will be talking about the new Checkmk Cloud Edition, the SaaS version. So today's agenda is very cool, and I think that you would love the format. So we will start with a small presentation that would give the context of what SaaS version is to people who haven't attended our Checkmk Conference this year, which I, by the way, really advise you to do next year. It's pretty cool. Then we will have a demo of how the new version works. Then we will cover some of the questions, but before that, my colleagues would give you a chance to see how you can join the beta testing phase for this. Yes, one important thing is please keep writing your questions in the YouTube chat or in Slido. You can find the link below in the description. We will come to all the questions at the end after the announcement of the beta testing. So yeah, we will cover all the questions just a little bit later. And for now, I think I will give the mic to Jonas.
Thank you, Sara. So yeah, I'm Jonas, product manager at Checkmk, together with Christian. I don't want to spend a lot of time going through a presentation, but I do want to go through just a few highlights, what exactly the new Checkmk Cloud is, to bring everybody up to speed in case you haven't attended the conference or hadn't had the chance to check out those pieces of content yet. So in a nutshell, very briefly speaking, Checkmk Cloud, or the new Checkmk Cloud, is a SaaS monitoring solution for all of your hybrid IT and cloud IT monitoring needs. It works out of the box, it's centralized, and for now, in the beginning, it'll be optimized and tiered towards more small or mid-sized types of infrastructure. Now, because it's a SaaS product, or because it's a SaaS-based monitoring solution, there's a few cool things we can do. One thing we put a lot of emphasis on is giving users a quick ramp-up process and taking some of the flat learning curve of the current Checkmk out, and giving you a quicker way to onboard and set up your monitoring. So you can set up SaaS monitoring within minutes. You can start tracking your applications, your metrics, and just really quickly get up to speed with the way that the new Checkmk Cloud works. And last but not least, obviously for a SaaS product, there's no maintenance required. We take care of that. You benefit from an always up-to-date monitoring solution and security patches, everything that's involved and that you need to be up to date in your monitoring solution, we take care of in a SaaS product. So how does the new Checkmk Cloud fit into the lineup of Checkmk? So Checkmk Cloud, as we said in the name, and you probably heard, is part of the existing Checkmk Cloud, and it'll live alongside the existing self-hosted version of Checkmk Cloud, and will continue to do so. So that's not really going anywhere. It's a new deployment option for Checkmk Cloud, and you can continue to use the self-hosted version as you want. For us, that also kind of completes the naming convention that we picked for Checkmk Cloud. So now Checkmk Cloud is a monitoring solution for the cloud, but also if you want it to be in the cloud, right? So what are we currently working on? What's next? A very brief glance and high-level glance at our roadmap. So we're aiming to launch Checkmk Cloud in the USA and in Europe within this year. And there's a few things that we're hard at work on. So right now we're spending a lot of time working on network device monitoring. We're also adding single sign-on. We're making Checkmk Cloud available in the US region, to be hosted in the US region. And we're also in the process of figuring out how to reliably do automated updates for Checkmk Cloud. So that's a very brief overview to bring you up to speed on what Checkmk Cloud actually is, what we're planning to do, and what we're working on over the next couple of months, how it fits into the current and future Checkmk lineup. And one more important thing to note before we jump into a quick demo is that Checkmk Cloud is currently in beta. For now, there's still a wait list. You can join the beta at checkmk.com/cloud-beta-waitlist. It's a pretty quick allow list process that you'll have to go through for the time being, and we're looking forward to hearing from you and would love your feedback in helping us make this a great product. And with that, I'd hand over to Christian for a brief demo, and then we're going to dedicate the rest of the session to Q&A and have a relatively open format. So over to you, Christian.
Thank you so much. It was super interesting, but can't wait for the demo.
All right, good. Demo time. So my name is Christian. I'm also product manager at Checkmk. And I will now show you a couple of things in our product. So the demo will consist of 3 parts. So first of all, I want to show you the sign-up part and basically show you how quickly you can access Checkmk and how quickly it is really provisioned for you and how we do that. Then basically I would show you the so-called user admin panel, and there I will show you a couple of services that as part of the SaaS offering we take care of for you, so you do not have to do that anymore as part of our SaaS offering. And then in the third part I will show you in Checkmk itself, so in a SaaS provision site, how we help you to get up to speed much faster, tell you a little bit what we've done there to, in terms of onboarding and how we help you really to set up Checkmk a lot easier. So the setup process consists of a couple of steps. First of all, you have to specify your user account. So we'll create a specific one now for this demo. So first of all, you need to put your name there. Then you need to define a password. So we have the same password requirements as in Checkmk itself. Okay, apparently I've already used that. So I'll just quickly go and register a second one. Give me 2 seconds. So, there we go. So, what we also do in Checkmk is, or in our class SaaS offering, is to verify each user that comes into the product, and we do that via sending a verification code to the specified email address. I now have to quickly look it up on my phone, but it's really not a big deal. So just all I have to do is to enter this code. So very simple. Then you can see the verification already happened. And now I have to log in again with the password I specified. And now I'm already part in the setup process. So what we now ask for is basically organization name, which will be reflected in your tenant, which I will explain a little bit later. So we can now, for example, call this Livestream Inc. or something like this.
One small ask from
Yes.
the audience. Can you please put your browser on full screen mode?
Sure. What is it? F12? Nope.
There's IT magic happening.
Yeah, just give me a
I
second.
don't know that you
You definitely can.
Oh, it's here. That little button there.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so you have to give your organization name, then you give your site name. So usually, I don't know, you can call it, for example, demo site. Then you have to specify your time zone. So that's basically what we use to display the right time zone within the site, but also in the notifications. And then you can opt in to subscribe to our newsletter if you want to do that. Then we collect a couple of additional information that we use for lead management internally. But that's also really quickly done. I'm already a Checkmk customer. And then basically that's all it takes to trigger the provisioning of the site. So now This takes usually 2 to 3 minutes, and like entering the form or going through the process, you've seen also does not take a lot of time. So basically, you can say that we can provision that site, or that we allow you to set up a site within 5 minutes. So that's really super quickly. And that really allows you to get up and started with Checkmk with our SaaS solution really, really fast. So I'll just now quickly skip that and basically jump to the next step in the demo. So while this other site is now being set up, I can show you an already existing one. So what you see here is our central login. So I could now log in with the user I just created, or with an already existing one, which I will do. And the beauty of it is that we have this one central login. So that's basically the only place, the only URL you need to remember, and that you can access basically your use to access your site. So I will now log in with my main account. And what you will see is that this account is also a member of multiple tenants. So what we did there is that we allowed or that we already took into consideration concept of being able to work with multiple tenants. So I will now just wait until this is done and then try to relog again. Because now I cannot basically cancel that process, and I also cannot log out. So I will just have to wait for a little bit. So maybe there are already some questions we could take in the meantime.
Let me take a look. I don't see any questions as of now. Oh, there is one. When will Checkmk Cloud SaaS be available in European Union?
Yeah, so that one we can take relatively quickly. We're planning on launching before the end of the year. So you should be in the launch market if you're in the European Union. The product should be available to you by the end of the year.
And there's another question, since we are at it at the moment. Does Checkmk Cloud SaaS support importing custom scripts for custom notification options?
Well, we plan to do that, but at the moment, so in the very first version we will go live with, we will not support that since we, for security reasons, since we will not be able to allow anyone to upload MKPs, which are not certified by us or checked. So basically, that's a security measure that we put in place there. So, but we already have like quite a compelling support of different types of notifications, which we support out of the box. And in the meantime, we will be working on a solution to allow that for future release.
Oh, thank you. I hope this is useful. So, yeah, those are all the questions for now. So, should we go back?
Yes, we can go back
to
the demo. Yes, thank you. So what you can see here now is basically the user admin panel for this tenant which I just created. So you can see here that the site is currently still being set up. You can see the version of it. You can also see a couple of details. So since it's not created yet fully, there's still a couple of information missing. And what you can also see here is our central user management. So right now I'm the only member since I just created a tenant. But what you can also see here is that you are able to invite additional users. So you can type in an email from your colleague, and then basically he or she will get an invitation which will guide her into the process of accessing the product or accessing the tenant. And during that process, that person will be able to specify a password for itself. So there's no need for you as an administrator anymore to do that on behalf of your users and then trigger a password reset and things like that. What you can also see here is that you can assign a role, so a permission role. So you can assign the administrator role or normal monitoring user role, and that will then also reflect on the site which is being created, and you can also then change that at a later point in time. So I'll hope that the site is created. Otherwise, we'll just try to log in again with my other user, so we can see a couple of more things. All right, there we go. So basically now I'm logged in with my real user. And what you can see here now is that I'm a member of multiple tenants. And what you can also see here is that I have also different user roles within those tenants. So basically we've already designed that in mind to provide the ability that a user can be a member of multiple tenants. So this already allows you to cover multiple scenarios going forward. So whether it is sort of like an MSP scenario or you're providing support for different types of tenants, or you're providing different types of services for different customers, and then you can be part of that, of multiple tenants. So if you now go to this one, for example, you can see again the site overview. What you can see here is there's an update functionality. So at the moment, this is still a manual process. We're currently working on automating that. So that will be part of our service offering then as well. So basically what you see here, this functionality will go away. That will be completely taken over by us. And we will take care that your site is always on the newest version. We will also take care of putting a check in place that once we see that the update hasn't successfully completed, that we automatically roll back to avoid scenarios that you are in a deadlock or in a situation where you cannot access your site anymore. So that's completely taken over by us as a service of our SaaS product. And what you can also see here is basically that you can trigger manual backup. But actually what I wanted to show is that since this site exists now for quite a while, there are already a lot of backups existing. So you can see that you can do manual backups, but we also do schedule backups automatically for you. So that happens twice a day, as you can see. So there's always the possibility for you to go back to an earlier version of your site. You can also see the site versions. So that also works to go back to a previous version of that site. And that is also part of the offering, so you do not have to take care of the backups anymore. We do everything, all of that for you. And also, obviously, when we trigger an automated backup, we will also always create, an automatic update. We will always create a backup for you that you can then potentially roll back if there are any issues. So that's what we take over for you. User management, I've already explained. Quite some things. So you can see, there's so far no restriction on users. You can also, for example, resend invitations if there's user has not accepted the invitation yet. Okay, but let's have a look at the site itself. So at the first glance, there's not so much difference, but if you look at the details, you already see quite some things. So first of all, what I want to show you is that if we go to the Agent Bakery, what you see here in the bottom is that there's also already a pre-configured agent for you. So even if you start your site up completely from scratch, completely newly, we have this pre-configured for you. So basically all you have to do is to download the agent, which fits to the host OS that you want to monitor. And all you have to do then is to install that package on the host you want to monitor. Then the push agent on that host will automatically register with the site to register certain or to exchange certain information and also secure the connection. So the connection is then completely encrypted. And the good thing about it is that we use the push agent here. So there's no need for you to open up any ports into your network, but the push agent basically will push metrics on a regular basis to the site basically out of the box by itself. And as I mentioned, all of the communication is encrypted. So it's secure and it's very easy to set up because all you have to do, as mentioned, is here to download the agent and install it. What we also did is that we added an onboarding guide. So what you can see here is a couple of categories. So for example, if you're interested in adding a host, we have a lot of guides already preset for you. So this is currently a work in progress. We will extend that in the next couple of days, actually. So there's already quite a bunch of guides available. And what you can also see here is our focus on supporting hybrid environments. So you can see servers or on-premise servers, you can see websites, you can see different types of cloud services, Kubernetes, and this will be further extended. I'll just give you a quick example how it looks like. So you have a very to-the-point description that tells you exactly what you need to do. So it's basically just clicking, reading, adding the information. So very simple and very condensed. And that really helps you to set that up, to set up your site a lot faster and get up to speed a lot faster. And then additionally, if there are some topics which are not covered by the guide, for example, at the moment, there's still a guide missing on how to set up dashboards, for example. You can use the search here. The search shows you examples from our articles from our documentation, which is very well received by our customers and users. If you're not a guide to read, there's also we also introduced our YouTube channel, so you can also see tutorial videos, or if you have a more specific problem, you can also go into the forum and then find your specific solution there.
We just had an ask to zoom in a little bit more.
Sure. I mean, okay. So I'm also towards the end of the presentation, but yeah, okay.
Still, let it be a very good ending that everyone could read.
Sure. Okay, so this is what the search looks like. I can also show you again how the guides look like, just to give you an idea. So this is probably not the most interesting one since we reconfigured there a lot, but for example here, you can see the very to the point and short description that should also should help new users to get up to speed really fast. And that's all I wanted to tell you today in terms of demo. Just wanted to remind you quickly, please sign up for our beta. It's currently open. That's the URL. Also make it bigger again a little bit. Center view. So please go to checkmk.com/cloud-beta-whitelist. There's a very, very short form which you need to fill out. Then it will take a day or two for us to approve it, and then please go test it out, provide us with feedback. That's really super crucial for us because we want to build something that's fulfilling your needs. So it's really always helpful to understand how happy are you with the current solution, what are you missing, what should we improve, and we're really happy to pick all of that up and build something that's really fits your needs and your what you need to do to be productive.
Yeah, you can
That's
also find the link in the chat. So it's even like highlighted with Checkmk in orange, so you can easily find it in case you make a decision to join the beta. So now would you like to take, I think we have one question. Would you like to take it? Cloning of sites would be possible or not?
Theoretically, yes, but at the moment we are limited to one site per tenant. So yeah, so that sort of restricts that feature wish a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to take other questions?
Sure.
Yep. Great. There is a question. Will these guides also be included in the Enterprise Edition maybe in the future? They are basically cool.
Yeah, so I can take that one. So no, in very short, this will be a SaaS feature. We're limited from a technical point of view in how much we can ship. Well, we have different options, different possibilities in a SaaS product as we do in a product that runs in your environment. And for SaaS also, there was a slightly different emphasis, and we talked to quite a few users or test users that gave us feedback on that, where this is meant as an alternative to the very elaborate documentation that we have for Checkmk. A lot of work went into that, but it has a very kind of educative approach. It gives you a lot of context. These onboarding guides, the feedback we got is, hey, I get into the site, I have very little context, I just signed up through a short form, and my expectation is that I can do something very quickly. So they don't teach you the why and the background of a lot of things. They help you get to the point and get something set up as quickly as possible. And we think that's especially important in a SaaS product compared to a product that you set up in your own environment, where by definition you kind of have to read up on some documentation, figure out how to do all of those things. So no, that will be a SaaS solution feature for now.
Yep, I hope that answers your question, Christian. Yeah. So now I think if we don't have any live questions, again, you still have the time and the opportunity to write your questions in the chat on YouTube or in Slido. If you don't have a Google account or for some reason you prefer to ask your questions in Slido, you can also do that. We'll come back to them. And for now, we want to have a little bit of closure on all the numerous questions that we did not respond to during the conference. And we believe that those questions also represent a lot of the things that users want to know about the SaaS version. So we will quickly go through those. Yeah, let's start. The first question is for Christian. What is the planned schedule of Checkmk updates, major and patch levels?
Yes, for the patch level updates, we want to bring them out as soon as possible. As mentioned, we'll have a couple of safeguards in mind, automatic rollbacks. We're also thinking about a tainting mechanism that basically marks updates which have failed on too many sites. But our idea is that to fully automate that, because usually the changes there are not quite big. As part of our service, that's what we automate, and to allow you to always be on the newest version. So on major versions, that's a little bit different, because there's also usually some configuration changes needed. So there we're planning to give you a little bit more wiggle room. So basically giving you some time to test and try time to respond basically to changes in the major version. So so basically we will provide you there with a grace period before we push things, so that you can do things and test things in your own time. And those are a little bit more difficult to automate. So we understand that due to the nature of Checkmk and how it works and how it's set up. So there it will be more like a semi-automated process.
Cool, thank you. The next question is also for you. So yeah, is there going to be an option to add an external authentication provider via OIDC, for example, to integrate with Entra ID or other authentication providers?
Yes, so that's what Jonas showed on the slide. So we that's basically what we label SSO. So we recognize that if you're working in a business environment, in an enterprise environment, that something you usually need. So we will focus on integrating Entra ID first, because that's the most common authentication provider, or IDP. And then basically, depending on your feedback, we're open to add additional ones. But that's what we plan to do, and actually started working on already.
Okay, cool. Next question is for Jonas. Is there any encryption of data?
Yes. So the very short answer is yes. Both at rest and in transit, data is encrypted. So network traffic between any two endpoints is encrypted with TLS certificates. and we require TLS 1.2 at a minimum, and prefer and recommend 1.3 at any given time. And data at rest is encrypted with industry standard AES 256 encryption.
Great. Another one also for you. Are there any options for data retention or file size limitations that we need to be aware of?
So no, nothing for you to be aware of or to actively manage as a user. This is a SaaS solution, so we're configuring and managing data resolution and data retention on the Checkmk side. But we looked at sort of the competitive landscape out there, and I think we have a pretty good offering in terms of how far back you can look at your data resolution within that time frame. So for example, we have a total look-back window of 2 years, and we maintain a 1-minute resolution for the first 14 days. So that's quite a high resolution for a relatively long period of time, and then that gradually staggers down over time. But no file size limitations for you to worry about. That is all kind of managed on our side. Whatever you do and whatever data gets created, we have to worry about. Nothing for users to need to concern themselves with.
That's great. By the way, some people are in the middle of installation while watching this. Yay! So yeah, the next question that we still have is to Christian. How are you monitoring on-site devices like NetApp and ESX?
Yes, very good question. That's something which we're also currently look into how we can allow to do that conceptually. The problem is in that specific use case that usually those types of resources do not have access to the internet or not securely. So basically the same problem as with network device monitoring. So we are currently evaluating different possibilities how we can do that. It's a topic that's very important to us. Since we're still in the evaluation phase, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to share different types of options we're looking at right now. But basically, we are looking for a solution that allows us to securely communicate with resources within your network, to which those 2 examples also count. And basically, yeah, so basically to secure traffic between your network and our site that we host in our cloud environment, because that's very important to us and probably also to you as a customer. It's a very important topic. We aim to provide a solution for it before we go public. So yeah, we're conceptually working on it, so there's not a lot of details which make sense at this point in time to share, but maybe that's then a topic for a future live stream session, and probably we can then go more into detail there if we know more of the details.
You know, we will love to have you again, for sure. There is one more question for you. What is the endpoint for the push agent, a separate for each site or one global for all?
Yes, so that's one per site. So as we've just seen, basically the functionality is the same for the push agent as for our on-premise editions. So it registers with the site directly. Yeah, so that there's one point per site basically, and not a global one.
Cool. Thank you. Next question is for Jonas. Do you run a separate variant, or is it the current cloud variant? Can we run our own Checkmk with the same functionality?
Also a good question, or good questions. So Checkmk Cloud, or the SaaS variant of Checkmk Cloud, is based on a fork of Checkmk Cloud. So that's the underlying edition, but with a lot of changes that were made to it to harden it for a SaaS environment. The flip side of that is also that we manage this, and you will not be able to run it on your own choosing or your own version of Checkmk. So no to the second part of that question. Cool.
Yeah, the next one. we're back to Christian. Does the SaaS variant allow for SSH login as root or as site user?
Unfortunately not, because we don't want to expose our infrastructure basically to the outside world. I mean, similar to what every admin probably would do with his on-premise installation. So that's basically our infrastructure that we host the solution on, and to provide a secure environment for everyone, for all of our customers. That's not something we can allow, but probably that's also not necessary, because a lot of the things you probably would use it for the use cases you would use it for, we take care of. We understand there might be one or the other case where you would need that for debugging. Please let us know the specific cases, because then we can think about how we can increase our capabilities in the UI to allow for that kind of troubleshooting or debugging there. And that would then also probably make it easier for a lot of our other customers as well.
And we have, thank you. And we have one more question for Jonas. Will it change the existing cloud installations out there?
No. No, so this is completely separate from any existing installations. Like I said, it's a fork of Checkmk Cloud, but a completely separate entity and a completely separate deployment option and product from Checkmk Cloud in the self-hosted variant, and does not affect any self-hosted installations of Checkmk Cloud.
Okay, cool. Christian, when will it be available in APAC?
So the beauty of it is everything is already available globally. So it's so there's no specific availability restriction other than what some legal restrictions we all have to adhere to. If the question is whether we will support or when we will support a hosting region in APAC, that's probably a little bit further down the line. So at the moment we focus on so the current solution we host in the EU. We will soon add another hosting region in the US for legal reasons. So basically that your customers' data also remain within the region and your data to a great extent as well, and also to improve latency. So if it's a matter of feedback, a matter of how important it is to you as our potential customer base, then we can also think about extending that to an APAC region, but so far we have not planned anything yet in that regard. But so latency-wise, we tested a lot we tested with a couple of testers which are located outside of Europe, so latency is pretty good. It's actually not a problem. So you might as well also use it if you're located in APAC, hosting it in the EU region. So.
Thank you. Another question also for you. Does Auto Everything also include agent updater?
Unfortunately, in this point in time, no, because the updater uses a slightly different way of registering it, which requires some more manual steps, like signing the package with a phrase you define as a user, as well as you also have to set out a command on the host side. The good thing is that we're already working on a way to unify those two types of registrations for 2.4, and that probably will then also resolve that problem for everyone, not only for the SaaS version, but for all of our users.
Jonas, will there be a free tier for small deployments like the free 750 services deployment of Checkmk Cloud on-premise?
So yes and no. While Checkmk Cloud is in beta, it'll remain completely free. There's also a relatively generous service limit in place at the moment, so you can do quite a lot with it. And we plan on keeping it freely available to people who sign up now and until the time we launch. Once we launch, there will be a free trial with a slightly smaller service limit, but still big enough for you to be able to get a meaningful kind of idea of what Checkmk Cloud can do. The plan is for trials to be available for 2 weeks, and there's no free tier planned at the moment, and we have no current plans to introduce that at any point in the near future. But again, this may change over time. As of now, the answer will be no. There's no free tier planned.
Okay, thank you. Christian, can people deploy a remote site to on-premise environment?
No, and that will probably or most likely never be the case. So as mentioned, at the moment we only we support only one site. I think if we find a good solution how we can support network devices and other devices which are or systems setups which are located within the network, then that probably also takes away the need for at least some of the distributed monitoring cases. And so we do not support it, and we also have not planned to support this.
Okay. Thank you. There are a lot of no's. We need to change that.
That's unfortunately the faith of a product manager. Yeah.
Okay. I hope it's okay that I squeeze one comment and one live question now. Sure. So one comment is that Keycloak would be also nice in this context of as another IDP. And the question, yes. Would I be able to increase the number of maximum concurrent active checks freely?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Okay. Would Paulo be able to increase the number of maximum concurrent active checks freely?
Yes, so we do not plan to put a limit there in place for the number of concurrent checks. So yeah, go for it.
Cool.
And yeah, Keycloak, yeah, that's a good point. Basically, currently we use it sort of as an internal test system to test our SSO solution. Keep the feedback coming. If enough people vote for it, then we'll definitely also look into supporting it.
See, good news. Next question is also for Christian. What about custom plugins? How are they managed?
Yeah, custom plugins, how they manage, pretty simple answer. At the moment, we do not allow them since we need to. So everything is running basically in our own environment. We're also taking legal responsibility for the service we provide. We also want to obviously provide a reliable service for you and a secure service for you. And so therefore we cannot allow any plugins which we don't know what they contain to run in our on our system. As mentioned a couple of times before, we plan to put something up like a review process where we would review and basically verify the security of those custom plugins or of MKPs basically, and then sort of make them available in kind of like you have to imagine something like a mobile store. But this is still something which is on the roadmap, where we also do not have a precise date for it yet. But at the moment, custom plugins is unfortunately not something we can allow at this point in time. But we are aware of the problem.
Okay, now there is one more question for you, and I really hope for the yes question. Okay. Will the same notification channels be available? Also, same REST API for acknowledgements, etc.
Yes, finally a yes. Yes.
Cool. Okay, that was a good one. I liked it. The next question is for Jonas. What is the reaction time for you to fix problems with SaaS environments, since it's all on us now, the responsibility?
Yeah. So quite an elaborate problem to solve that also had organizational implications for us as a company, as Checkmk. We're currently working on having, so our support an operations organization currently is located in Europe and in the States, in Atlanta at our office there. We're also looking into having people in the APAC region within the next couple of months, so that we can have some kind of round-the-clock support. And with that, we're planning on offering Checkmk Cloud with a 99.5% uptime SLA with round-the-clock operation support. And with that, we aim to react to any problems within what we have as our current highest support offering, so within 4 hours at least. And Checkmk Cloud comes with our high support offering built in. So whether it's from an operations perspective or a support perspective, that's kind of what you can expect.
I like the trend of good news in the questions. So next question is also for you. Are there plans for allowing migration to SaaS or away from SaaS if my requirements change?
Yes, another good question. So right now, we want to bring Checkmk Cloud to the market and launch it and have a viable product as quickly as possible. So the aim is still to launch by the end of the year. And so obviously the need, Checkmk Cloud as a SaaS product might be relevant for existing Checkmk customers. And it would be interesting, and we absolutely do want to be able to offer a migration path from a technical point of view between self-hosted environments and the SaaS solution. But for the time being, we're not prioritizing that because it's a pretty complex problem to solve, to think of a migration path that thinks of everything. So this is something we will be looking into after we launch, but not beforehand. So also a little bit further down the road for the time being.
Great. It's still there though. Now, Christian, if you thought that you were done, you're not done. There is another question for you. Can we still connect to an external influx database?
Yes, very interesting question. So at the moment, that's still possible. But so basically, we are currently shaping how our commercial offering will look like. It might be that we will remove that for the time being due to so basically we'll have to pay for every outgoing for outgoing data basically. And InfluxDB, due to its use case and its nature, just creates a lot of outgoing data, and we might want to remove that, or we might remove that from the current version and bring it back at a later time, depending on how we want to shape our commercial offering. But so in the beta, currently it's still possible, but might be going away soon, depending on some commercial decisions we will take as a company, or for our SaaS offering, basically.
Great. Another one also for you. Is the user invitation feature also part of the Enterprise Edition?
No, it's not. Since basically the whole user admin panel there's not there in that edition. So no, it's not there, unfortunately.
Okay, then the next question is for Jonas. Is the onboarding search coming to on-premise Checkmk as well? But I think
we already covered that in the live chat. Maybe again for anybody who missed it. So no, this will be possible in the SaaS solution in Checkmk Cloud only. It relies on third-party integration, so it's not feasible for us to provide that as a service in the same way in a self-hosted environment. In theory, you could hack that together as a user, get your own subscriptions to the external third-party services that we're using, and build it yourself. But it's not something that we will provide.
Okay, then we have 2 more questions, and they're both for Christian. Sorry, Jonas. Or thank you and congratulations. I'm not sure about that, but interrogation of Christian is continuing. Is logging exposed to AWS CloudWatch?
No, so all of the logging that is application specific, so basically site or customer specific, let's say, that's completely outside of CloudWatch. So we use CloudWatch for some meta data, basically, also meta logging. I don't know, performance of our EKS cluster, database performances and stuff like that. But there's no customer or application data exposed to CloudWatch.
Thank you. And then there's one more question. I think I skipped it before. What about pricing of traffic?
There's no pricing of traffic. There's also nothing planned in this regard as of now. So that will be included in the in our basic offering. So that's not something you would have to pay extra for.
So we finished on good news with the questions from the conference. Hopefully those were useful for you as well. And maybe you're one of those people who asked those questions during the conference and never received a reply. So here it is. There is one more online question. Is it possible to create own permissions for users in the SaaS version, in the SaaS version?
It is planned, so we also have that on the roadmap, but probably you know the amount of different permissions we have in Checkmk. So for the time being, to move a little bit faster, we use the existing roles we have there and map those, as you could see, into the user admin panel. We have planned though to make that more flexible and configurable further down the line. So that's planned, and we will provide that at a later point in time.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is it with the online questions. I don't see any new ones in the chat. Also, nothing that I can see in Slido. So, yeah, I guess this is more or less it. I hope this live stream was useful for you. And we really hope to see you in our beta. I'm slightly being nudged to show the checkmk.com/cloud-beta-waitlist is where you can sign up for the beta. And now you hopefully are able to see the link on your screens. Also, it is in the chat on YouTube. So definitely join, and we'll love all the feedback that you have. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Jonas. Thank you, Christian, for all your answers, for all the questions that we were able to cover. I'm really glad that you're here. Hopefully you'll come to the studio more and more as SaaS is increasing the number of users that want to learn more about the new features. Thank you very much, and see you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.